How was your mother brought up to make her so bad? She had an undiagnosed mental condition because she was spoiled as a child. Not because she was spoiled as a child, I'm saying she wasn't brought up to be the way she was. She was loved, she was shown love. My grandfather, you know, doted over all of his daughters, made sure they all had Valentine's candies and a gift every Valentine's Day. And just that was he called her that was his little peanut. She had an undiagnosed mental condition and nobody would get her the help that she needed. When I ran away at 13, I began telling my family, hey, she's got a problem. You guys got to fucking do something about it. She's got a problem. And everybody kept going, how could you possibly say these things about your mother? How could you possibly accuse her of the things that you've accused her of? Have you no shame? And I'm like, because she fucking did them, because it's who she fucking is. And nobody would get her any help. And then they found her dead in her condominium in a pile of filth. And it's like, are you guys ready to fucking own up now? You ignored it for 40 plus years. Now do you see? Fellow BC resident. What did you say, time? So that the of the data of the of what? The Alps were gorgeous too. Love to go see them. Was my mom a drunk? Nope. Yeah, she liked to punch. My mom liked to throw hands. As a matter of fact, if anything, she was a cannabis consumer. uh we used to go She used to go visit her friend Shirley and take us with and take me with in the early days and park me in front of Shirley's TV while her and Shirley sat at the kitchen table burning weed. Didn't know what it was at the time, know what it is now. Johnny Bravo, thank you very much for the $2 tip. Greatly appreciate it. You and your videos are great. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. um yeah, she was a puncher. She was an abuser. Lots of impromptu lives as of late. Nice seeing you live. Always love the content. Here's the deal. I I go live to connect with you guys because you guys are the ones that keep it going. You know what I mean? I can just keep cranking out content and never ever ever like engage because it's very difficult to engage in the comment section because there are so many comments. I love the comment sections. I want it to keep going. This is a better way of engaging. Go live every so often and actually talk to the people that watch the content. Oh, you were referring to the Appalachian Mountains and the banjo. I got it. Love you doing this, by the way. Well, thank you very much. Glad I finally caught alive. Likewise, like I said, you guys got me until my wife walks through the front door, and then I'm gonna up and Kaiser Sose myself until next time. Just stopping in, and I don't know when that's gonna be, so let's just keep the conversation going for now. Just stopping in to say thank you for your commentaries. You're bold, transparent, and you stand business. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Deliverance, absolutely. What other than a total humiliation is the ceasefire debacle? That's it. That's all it is. My mom used to use the ceramic hot plate to crack me on the ass. It's rough. So Dave invasion. Yeah. See, my mom. So my mom. She started with the typical slapping and spankings and I've talked about it in my book. She, one of her favorite go-tos at one point in time. My beatings took place between the ages of 8 and 13. My parents got a divorce when I was 8. Mom got custody. I ran away from my mom's house at the age of 13. Between the ages of 8 and 13, I was a punching bag. At a brief period of point in time, her go-to was we had that little that metal strip that separates one room of flooring from another. There was a loose one between the carpet in the living room and the tile in the kitchen, and she used to pull that up and whoop my ass with it. Belts, shoes. Later on, when I was a young tween, heading towards my teen years, and I was big for my age. Um, and people had been asking questions about bruises and whatnot. She liked to, I talk about this as well. She liked to have me put my arms behind my back and kind of use my body as a shield, where my back was here facing forward and my arms wrapped over her legs, or her arms, I should say. She was over 6 feet, and she would like shield wraps, and she would lift my body up so I was up on my toes, and then she would drive her fist into my lower back because nobody was looking for bruises there, and it was a way to punish me. If you got out of line, you got a few of those, and that was like 11, 12, heading into 13. So I talk frequently about how my mom didn't teach me a whole lot about life, but if there's one thing that woman did teach me, it was how to take a punch. And it's a fucked up thing to say, but it's true. It's she My mother taught me how to take a punch. I learned at the age of 9 and 10, literally, um, to brace for the blows as I was in the corner of my room and she was fucking coming down on me because she was pissed about God knows what that day. Most of, I think, her problem with me. All done? Just getting some water? I'm live, so watch what you say. Short on gas?
Well, I got about fifth or sixth of the gas can left, and it's not enough for another mo if I run out.
Okay, so what you're going to do is when you finish, you're going to fill that tank up on the mower and you're going to bring that can up on the deck. Leave it outside the slider, but make it visible so it's going to remind me tomorrow to go get that can filled up. Um, what her Part of her biggest problem with me was that she got pregnant with me when she was 16 years old by a man who was 27, my father. You know, and so she looked at me as the cause of her life going off the rails. Plus, I looked exactly like my father. I carried my father's name and I idolized my father. So everything that was bad in her world was embodied in me. You couple that with an undiagnosed mental condition, clearly, and oh yeah, my father had. He there's no other way of describing my father. He was 27, she was 16. And I know people go, it was normal for the time. That it's fucking sick. It's fucking sick. You know what I mean? But that's what produced me. You know what I mean? Did he ever get in trouble? No, but they got married. They got married. He used to go have hot dogs at this hot dog joint. There was an ice cream stand in the parking lot of the hot dog joint. He would eat his hot dogs. He would go get his ice cream. He would flirt with the cute girl making the ice cream. That was my mom, who, when she was 16, was looking like she was 30. And my old man, not fucking, you know, oh my God, she's 16, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, um, got her pregnant in the parking lot in late 1971 in his car. They got married right before I was born in May of 1972. 5 years later, they would have another child. My one and only biological sibling, my younger brother. When I was 8, they would get a divorce. Mom was having an affair with the gentleman that did their taxes. and she got my father drunk, had him sign some insurance papers that turned out to be divorce papers. He passed out. They dragged his ass out onto the front yard, threw his clothes on the front yard next to him, had the locks on the door changed, pinned the fucking divorce papers to the front door, and she took me and my brother to her sister's house in Ohio. My father woke up on the front lawn of his house, locked out of his house with divorce papers that he had signed, giving her possession of everything, and it wasn't much. A shitty house, no money in the bank, a used car, and sole custody of the kids. He spent the next several years living out of a suitcase, out of friends' basements and shit like that, until he met his next wife and got married again. That was my first stepmother, and that didn't last very long. Her and I hated each other, and I told this story the other day, yesterday. It was the summer between my eighth grade graduation and my freshman year of high school. It was right after I graduated eighth grade. My father was working three jobs. I hated this woman with a passion. He was at his Saturday job. Her and I were arguing. She said, "I'm going to call your father and tell him that it's you or me." And I ripped the fucking phone off the wall back when you had a phone on the wall. And I fucking threw it at her and it fucking hit her. And I went, "There's the phone, bitch. Call him." I was fucking 15, 14, 14. What, I don't even know. And I went outside to have a cigarette because, we were all smoking at that point in time. Nobody gave a shit. She went into the bedroom, called him, gave him an ultimatum, and then he came flying up onto the front yard, not even in the driveway when I was sitting out on the stoop. And I thought he was gonna fucking kill me. He got out of the fucking car, walked right past me up the stoop and said, "Pack your shit, we're leaving." Went inside, packed his bag, looked at her and said, "Fuck you, bitch, I'm out," and drove me and him to Southern Indiana to my grandfather's house where we spent the night. And within a couple of days after that, he had bought himself a little house, a little two-bedroom, one-bedroom shack of a house for $9,000, got himself a job up in Indianapolis, and went to work. Hated it. And within a year and a half, said to me, "I'm going back to Chicago. You coming?" And I went, "No, if you've given me a choice, I'm going to stay here." And he handed me the keys to the house and he said, "I'll keep the lights and the gas on. You get a job unless you want to go hungry." His father was a PDF. Most likely he is too. You aren't too fucking intelligent, are you? You're not smart enough to have a conversation with me, you ignorant fuckstick. So now I've hidden you, which means you can still leave comments, which boosts my algorithms, but we don't have to listen to your stupidity.